Hello everyone. It's James again. And I know I've been away from making videos for a couple of weeks. I had a few technical issues come up and a few other important things I had to take care of. And in the middle of it all, I took a few moments to sit and relax a bit. And to think about a few things. Because there is a lot of noise in this world. A lot of things are happening. And though we should be mindful of such things, we shouldn't let ourselves get bogged down by such happenings. As God tells us over and over again, that He has us in every step and in every situation. And this is why slowing things down is so important. And this very thing ties into the many world events that are happening right now on the world stage. And what a great many of us have faced with the narcissists that were in our lives. Because you see, most of what we went through can be seen on the world stage. Just scaled up to a way bigger version with a lot bigger stakes. You see, we often talk about slowing things down here when dealing with narcissists and other toxic people for very important reasons. One of these reasons is, some of these evil individuals plan their moves several steps ahead. And they plan these moves based on what they know what your response to certain things and scenarios will be. You see, a great many of us here in the narcissistic space have made the link between evil and narcissism, to Satan and his demons and the narcissists that walk planet Earth. And some have made the connection that it's quite likely that Satan and his demons are directly affecting and even controlling the narcissists that walk this earth to serve their evil purpose and agenda. And what would that agenda be? To get as many people to fall as humanly possible, and while doing that, to take people off of their life course and utterly ruin their life. Because the same way that narcissists feed on your misery and pain. From what we know about Satan and his demons, they feed on your pain and misery the same way. So you have these narcissists that have walked away from their humanity, likely in childhood as a defense mechanism to the toxic home they grew up in. Meaning they were likely narcissistically abused or made into being the golden child at home. Which is still a form of narcissistic abuse. Either way, they split and compartmentalized their fragile vulnerable self. And locked it away into a metal box with many locks, never to be opened back up again. And part of their defense mechanism, and to prevent this compartmentalized self to ever see the light of day ever again. This is why therapy, from what we know, doesn't work with these people. Because they are always in a mode of manipulation. All to make sure narcissism stays as their dominant personality. But these narcissism leaves a hole. A hole where they can't feel love or joy or anything genuine. Except the pleasure of from the pain of others. The very thing their father the devil gains pleasure from. And it's this hole of emptiness and being far away from God, is what allows Satan and his demons to puppeteer narcissists into acting out on this earth their will and their goals. And this is important because Satan is the father of lies. And we are often told to not think that we are smarter than Satan. That we aren't to battle against him alone. That we leave the battle up to our Father who art in heaven. Because when someone says, "No one can ever take advantage of me," that's when Satan shows up into their life in the form of a person. Likely a toxic evil narcissist they are controlling. To prove this person otherwise. And this taking advantage of or ruining the life of someone takes steps. Steps the narcissist carefully plans. In order for this person that is the target to fall into trap after trap based on reactions and decisions they make. And this is not only important in our daily lives, but what we are seeing play out on our world stage. There is some 5D chess going on. With narcissists and evil people on each side. Along with decent people on each side. And you can clearly see that some of these evil people are using real situations and scenarios into manipulating others to their will or bidding. You see, there have been several whodunit human deletion stories out there. And a great many of them have a lower level element of a narcissist or evil toxic person manipulating someone else into doing their evil for them. All with the hopes they will take the fall, and with the hopes this evil toxic person can walk away and play victim. Now a great many cases are found out, and both parties, the one that carried out the evil and the one that planned it, they both usually get into trouble. And as I've said before, I believe the ones planning such evil get bold enough to do this because they've had a long run of manipulating others into doing their evil, and they've never had to take the blame. So why would this situation be any different? And again, there might be a real problem there. But the narcissist through omission shapes their narrative by not telling the full story, and hoping the way they tell this story will gain a response that will give them what they are looking for. As an example, they might get into a fight with their roommate, and they might do so in such a way. They might be able to get this roommate to lash out and do something that is out of character and completely wrong. Because narcissists are masters at pushing buttons for this purpose. Then they show up at your door asking for a place to stay and for you to take on their roommate and go after them as if they are now your problem. And if they've built up enough connection with such a person and shaped the narrative in such a way, there are people that will let their emotions run away from them and fight a fight that should never be fought. Well, this simple yet complex tactic has been run on the world stage again and again and again, and everyone is gaslit into believing a shaped and narcissistically manufactured narrative. And because of it all, it's hard to see who are the good guys and who are the bad guys. And that's what narcissists like. They want the waters muddied so badly that it is easy to make a mistake and step into their trap and give them what they were looking for by accident. Because remember, these are people that have been using this high-level manipulation tactic their entire life. And if they one that is pulling the puppet strings on them is Satan or his demons, all I can say is good luck and trying to figure out what is going on. This is why many years ago, I made a video why you should never debate with a demon. And this is one of the reasons why. It's so easy to make a wrong choice even if you think it's the right choice when dealing with such an evil person. That's why slowing things down and backing away slowly from such a person is the best thing in most cases to do. Well, on the world stage this is likely the best thing as well. Because there is so much lying and high-level manipulation going on all sides of the equation. We've seen event after event. And usually most of these evil events have the fingerprints of those that want a desired outcome on it usually. And they know such events that are real can be used to steer people into a direction that is beneficial to such a toxic individual or individual's goals and plans, even if it ruins the people's lives. Because narcissists will pretend to have your best interests at heart, and will tell you that you have to do this or that. And they will assure you they have your back. And then when you do what it is they are requesting or requiring of you, they are nowhere to be found. And they vanish from your life and aren't there to help you when your life is damaged by the many destructive paths they have led you through. This is why, if you are unsure about what choice to make, slow things down and step back. You see, narcissists rely heavily on the slot machine method or theory. You see, the reason why slot machines generate so much revenue is because if someone has gambled away, let's say $50 into the slot machine, those that make and own the slot machine know its level of addictiveness. And they know that a great many people won't be able to walk away without trying to win their money back. So they will keep moving forward over and over again. That is until all of their money is gone and the one that owns the slot machine gets what they want. Well, narcissists on an individual personal level, and on a big world stage level act and manipulate people in the same way. They hope that the people they are manipulating will just keep moving forward with their predictable behavior. But 9 times out of 10 when they do, they end up giving the narcissist what they were looking for to begin with. This is why it's important to step back and understand you might not understand the motives of the players like you thought you did, and at least for now give them nothing. This is why in the narcissistic abuse community, there is a saying, just don't play their game. Now the narcissist can do some dramatic stuff to draw you back into their game. Just like narcissists on the world stage can do some dramatic stuff. Or they can let some dramatic stuff happen. Because either way, The narcissist or the narcissistic system might see it as a way to at the end of it all to get what they want. And the sad part of it is, for the average person, it's very difficult to conceive that someone can even think in such an evil way. But in the narcissistic abuse community we know there are some sick twisted individuals out there that do not value humanity, and are just like their father Satan. And if someone thinks they are smarter than Satan and want to try to play a game against him, I would say, that is an unwise move. Sometimes it's best to say, there is too much manipulation going on to know which end is up, and to just step back and walk away. The narcissist can't win anything if you refuse to play in the pit of mud and dirt. Because we have another saying in this community: dealing with a narcissist on a high level or even a personal one-on-one level is like wrestling a pig. The pig is a professional at getting dirty and muddy and they actually love it. The dirtier they get, the more they enjoy it. So when the narcissist comes to you wanting you to get into their pit of mud and dirt, at bare minimum, take a step back. Think about what is actually happening and why. And slow things down. Well, that's all I have for today. I thank you all for your support. I'm seeing all of your loving and kind messages and comments come in. I really do appreciate you. More to come as we have more to talk about on this channel. Because if evil and narcissism isn't going away, the information on how to deal with or not deal with such evil needs to be shared. With that said, I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time, bye for now. And be good to yourself.